Ta-da! Are you guys ready for this? Grab your drink, let's get started. Ooh, that's real dangerous. Glad I only made one. I was gonna make two. Oh, that is so good. It could be a little spicier. I should have muddled those jalapenos a little more. Hi guys, Chevy Rel here. This is the Chevy Rel Stuff Podcast. We are in the stuff room. I talk about knitting and shit. If it's your first time here, welcome to the crazy, because it's kind of crazy here. You never know what you're gonna get. I am really excited today. I think it's gonna be a good episode. Famous last words, one never knows. I mean, tequila is involved, so yeah. That was a little spicier. That is really good. Recipe will be in the description below if any of y'all are interested. Let's get into the stuff, shall we? First off, FOs. We're gonna put the elephant in the room on hold for just a minute. I gave Logan her dress and here she is in it. Isn't she stinking adorable and beautiful and gorgeous and all of those things wrapped into one? It fit perfect. Logan could wear a burlap sack and be hot. I remember many years ago. It wasn't Drag Race. I'm getting my queens mixed up. It was Tyra Banks. What'd she do? Next Top Model. One of their, I didn't watch that show. I just happened to catch an episode of it. And one of their, what is it called? When they make them do stuff. They gave them a burlap sack and was like, make this cool. Some of them did it. Some of them were horrid at it. Anyway, next. Ta-da! I mean, this is perhaps the biggest FO, right? It's my Boxy Chevron by Suzanne Sommer. Let me show it to you. So, I was a little worried because when I took it off the needles, I added, you're only supposed to do, I don't know if you can see it. Not real, well, right there. You were only supposed to do one or two rows past that, and I added a few more. It does have an I-cord. That looks stupid right there. I'm just now noticing that. What the hell? What the hell? Anyway, I don't... Of course, it's glaringly obvious on screen. How did I not notice that until right now? Anyway, had I not pointed it out, see? It's like a Picasso. From far away, it looks great. From up close, it's a big old mess. Or no, not a Picasso. Monet. I'm getting my artists mixed up. Anyway, I tried it on before I did the neckline, and it was like this. I didn't think it was going to stay on my shoulders, so that's why I gave it a little more. But before it was blocked, it looked really small, and it sort of scared me. So I was pleasantly surprised when it blocked out nice. Same with this. I was scared that it was not going to block out. It is real boxy down here, almost a little bit more than I would want, but it's fine. I'd rather it be this way than smaller, I guess. The sleeves are perfect length. I love them with my chevron sleeve, or not chevron sleeves, with my bias sleeves. You can't really see the chevron. See the chevron pattern? I helix knit this, as you can see, until right here. And because these chevrons are pearled, I couldn't helix knit with them. They looked really stupid. So I just cut it and went with one skein. So I kind of like it because it's lighter. It almost looks like a border, yeah? Anyway, this is my FO and it is hot AF in here. So much better. I just totally stripped in front of my big, huge picture window. My neighbors are out. Hopefully they're not paying any attention to me. It really is warm in this room, just saying, because the sun sets in front of me. Ovs, right? In case you couldn't tell. I've said it before, this yarn is from Simply Socks Yarn Company. It is Dream in Color Colossal Sock. They had hell of a deal. This is the Tucson colorway. Did I say Tuscan last time? No, it's the Tuscan. Fuck, you guys, what is it? Whatever, it's this colorway. And then Cian in the Malabrigo sock. Okay, I have another FO that's awesome. And for those of you who follow me on Instagram, I already know what it is. Wait for it. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? Look how cute he is. I love him so much. I'm eating it. He turned out great. I did say he needs a name, and I got tons of great ones. I do have to say my Uncle Tim said Ramsey, and I love it. And you know, Ramsey in Game of Thrones was kind of snarky. Actually, he was a big, huge, ginormous asshole, which, you know, hopefully this guy isn't, but he does hang like right here on my wall. So I'm hoping that he's kind of the, you know, the dude who's one of the dudes who's looking over little Miss No Name over here. He's the guardian of the stuff room. And I had to give him these badass 90s bangs, right? Look at his nose. Okay, so I'm going to put him back where he lives and I'll tell you a little bit more about him. Holy crap, I'm sweating. Okay, as many of you know, I crocheted him out of this book. It is Animal Heads by Vanessa Mooncie or Mooncie. I think it's Mooncie. She does have an Instagram for those of you who are into this sort of thing. I won this book from Chip and Aaron, which, happy belated birthday, Chip. I missed it. I'm a terrible friend. Cheers. Happy birthday. I won this at a bingo that Aaron and Chip hosted. It was super fun. I was going to start out with these little mice right here, and instead I, you know, go big or go home, right? I channeled Leslie from Not Quite Enough Yarn. For those of you who do not watch her, you should. She's across the pond. And the reason it's called Not Quite Enough Yarn is because she oftentimes just doesn't have quite enough to make a whole project. So she hodgepodges it. It's sort of like the patchwork of knitting, if you will. And that's what I did with Ramsey. He was just scraps that I pulled out from past projects. You knit him in pieces. It was sort of nice because I went out of order. Like if I felt like, did I say knit? I think I said knit. You crochet him in pieces and I just, you know, crocheted him little by little. For those of you who have watched past episodes and are not new here, you did see my fail where this is a UK crochet, which is different than US, and I did double crochets instead of single crochets, and my first attempt was horrific. But this attempt turned out amazing, and I love it so much. It could not have been any better in my mind. So I'm so glad that I stuck with it. And in other news, I never did find that missing eye. It just disappeared. Maybe little Miss No Name took it and hid it from me. Okay, my next whip, I'm not going to show you. It's my Swallowtail sweater. I did nothing on it since the last time you saw it. And I know that I said it's all I wanted to knit on. And I have wanted to knit on it this entire time. But I was so close to getting the Boxy Chevron and Ramsey done that I really focused on those so that I could get some things off the needles and off the hook. So I will now concentrate on my Swallowtail sweater. I am also going to, I had a couple comments about how I do color work, how I hold color work, because I said that I loved color work, and people were messaging me like, how can you say you love color work? It's so fiddly for me. So I thought that I would show you a video of how I do color work the next time I get to a color work section in my Swallowtail. So be on the lookout for that. My only other whip, you guys, I'm so boring. My only other whip is I got some sock tubes cranked. Now, I did not talk about these sock tubes when I had them cranked because, to be honest, I just really wasn't happy with my customer service, I guess. And I don't want to like down talk somebody, and I I did a lot of thinking on this, and I am probably just very, what's it called? God, what's the word? I don't know if I'm just being a little bitch about it or if it's like something that other people would be upset about, but I don't want to talk smack about anybody's business. Bottom line, I just wasn't all that impressed with the customer service. I am somebody who likes a good bedside manner. I don't need my ass kissed, but I would like a little more customer service than I had. It took a while. I won't even get into it. I had some socks cranked, okay? Do your research. It's really cool to get some socks cranked. The reason that I got socks cranked, and I'll tell you, I have friends who had socks cranked, and I was like, really? Why would you pay for the yarn and then just pay to have your socks cranked, right? I'm like, didn't you buy the yarn to knit? Well, I'll tell you, this was like super sale yarn, and I didn't want to knit it. It was like striped stuff. I wasn't into knitting it. So I just sent yarn that was in my stash and had been in my stash forever, and I just never picked to knit. And I kind of felt like the only way it'll ever get knit up is if I have it cranked into tubes. So that's what I did. So I want everyone to have hand knit socks, and I don't have time to hand knit everyone's socks. These are going to be my Christmas socks. I'll show you this tube. I started it for my dad, and I kind of did it ass backwards. I haven't done a true, here's the tube first off. I have not done a true afterthought heel in a while. And I was looking at, I just thought it was like real simple, like, yeah, you measure to here and then you cut for this size shoe, right? You know, it's kind of been a pain in the ass to find the measurements, but I finally found the measurements. Most of them say to go from the toe and measure. And of course I did the cuff first. So I'm going to go ass backwards and I'm going to figure it out. So I'm going to put the heel in. I'm going to measure my leg, put the heel in, and then figure out where I have to go to the toe to get my dad's size. So that is really all I've done is just the cuff. Now, and this is the beauty of my dad because he's just like chill, right? I have this, I knit Dan socks. That's what I'm using because, you know, my dad's a Cleveland Browns fan, so you really can't go wrong. That's going to be the heels, toes, and cuffs. Wait, there, oop. They'll be like patchwork socks, right? So that's really all I got done knitting wise because I was cranking out Ramsey and that Boxy Chevron. I am really excited to get, oh, you guys, my bouncy spider's back. I love that he lives here. I wonder how long they live. He's always right here. He just loves this windowsill. Anyway, what was I saying? I'm really excited to get started on, you know, some other stuff now that I have 2 projects done. Tequila soaked watermelon jalapeno. Anybody? Oh, it's so good. That is so good. Who would have thought jalapenos and watermelon? Shout out to my bestie, which I'm hoping I put. Oh no. Hello, Bubbas. Mama's recording. Go elsewhere, please. I'm hoping that I put in me making the drink. Actually, I hope that whole thing worked out okay. Oh, this is why I do notes because, you know, I forget it all. This is just a Patton's Croy and it's called Rusty Stripes. I did try to look it up and I couldn't find it. Sorry. That's my mama. Turn my ringer off. I couldn't find it, so I don't know if it's discontinued or what, but that's what the color is. And that's everything I have on the needles and the hook and all that. But I am going to show you, I'm going to tell you about a future whip, and then I'm going to move right on into enabling because, which if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this as well. It's a nice segue into it. Okay, so here's my future whip. It is the Rios beanie by Benjamin Matthews Designs. It's a $6 pattern. I have to tell you, he is a super cutie. He's a cute guy. And I feel terrible. I can't remember if I bought this or if someone gifted it to me. If you gifted it to me, I'm an asshole and I've forgotten, and I apologize. I hate it that I can't remember everyone's names. Anyway, for those of you who have been here, are my OGs, you know that my brother usually gets a hat for Christmas. This is going to be his hat this year. I mean, you can only knit a dude so many hats that they don't look alike, right? He likes beanies. He likes the tighter fitting beanies. He's not really into the slouch, and he wears them. He is so knit worthy. He wears them. He keeps them. I mean, this is a dude who is that bad that I have to do the math, that I can't remember how old my brother is? So he's 36. Yeah, 36. It's weird because I was born in February and he was born in December. So while it's 4 years, it's almost 5, right? So that's why it always screws me up. I make it way harder than it probably needs to be, but still. Anyway, he's 36. His wallet is a wallet that we got when he came out here and I took him school shopping when he was 16. Same wallet. And he's looked at other ones and he can't bring himself to get another one because he can't find one like it that he loves. And we got it at Old Navy. So he is very knitworthy. He keeps everything. I try to always knit him something different, and he is a blue guy. I've basically just only knit him black, blue, and gray. So I was trying to pick some yarns that were different colors that would still work for him. I'll talk about the yarn in a minute, but first I wanted to tell you this qualifies for not one, but 2 cals that are happening right now. The first one is the Let's Hear It for the Boys, which is over on August 31st, and the Needles at the Ready guys are doing that. Kevin and Ray, I talk about them quite a bit. They're one of my favorite podcasts. The Let's Hear It for the Boys Mal? Now I can't remember. I think it's a mal. I don't think it's a cal, which would be make along if any of y'all don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't remember if it's a knit along or make along. Those dudes are awesome, and I'm pretty sure that they would be fine with a make along. I'll stand corrected if I'm wrong. It's to showcase the dudes in our community, right? So if it's a male pattern designer, if it's a male yarn dyer, or if you're knitting it for a dude or someone who identifies as a dude, whatever your flavor, that mal, cal, whatever, this works because Mr. Benjamin Matthews, a little cutie patootie, is the designer of this hat. The other knit along that will work for is the One and Done, which is being hosted by Nancy and Kathleen, who are the hosts of the On the Needles podcast. It's a new podcast, so if you're looking for a new one to start and you like starting from the beginning, that's where you go. Many of you will probably know or have heard of Nancy and might not know it, but she is the designer behind Trilogy yarn. She is so popular. I hear her on all the podcasts being mentioned. So everybody needs to go grab some Trilogy yarn. I do have to tell you that she is having, now I don't know if there's any spots left, but she is having a Christmas advent calendar as well as a Hocus Pocus advent calendar for Halloween. Guess which one I bought? I'll give you 3 guesses. The first 2 don't count. I love Hocus Pocus so much, and I love Halloween so much, and I love anything with like ravens and crows and creepy and all of those things. So I'm really excited about it. So I snagged one. Anyway, Nancy and Kathleen are the hosts of the On the Needles podcast, and it was their brainchild for the One and Done, meaning, let me read this so I don't mess up. Choose any one skein pattern, cast off, and post a picture on their Ravelry or social media and use the hashtag knit1anddone2020. Both whips and finished objects count. Now that's for the On the Needles podcast. They are co-hosting with Codi Knits. Codi is awesome. You should also go see him. He has a dachshund named Diamond. Did I already say this? Am I repeating myself? Graminata. I feel like I'm repeating myself. My childhood dog was a dachshund. His name was Poochie, like Gucci, spelled P-U-C-C-I. Get it? So Diamond is sort of like Olive was the mascot, for the Chevy Stuff podcast. That made me sad for a minute. Diamond is his sidekick, and she always makes an appearance, and he jokes that there's probably a bunch of people who are just there watching for Diamond and not for him, but he's doing it. Of course, Scott and John from Sweet Tea, no shade, which y'all know I love them. The Needles at the Ready guys, Kevin and Ray, they're doing it, as well as Carie from Creative Obsession. I will link the On the Needle, I'll link all of their podcasts. I will also link the On the Needles Ravelry thread for Nancy and Kathleen for the FO, and that tells you all the rules of the Cal, and you can kind of go from there. Okay, so this is where I'm going into enabling from my Rios hat. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, that should be the name of the episode. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this. I put in an order to Simply Socks. You guys, it was marked as shipped in less than an hour of me placing the order, and I got it the next day. Now, I'm in the same town. They're my LYS, but still, they don't mess around. Freaky fast. What is that sandwich place? Baby. Jimmy John's. Freaky fast. That's Simply Socks. Here's what I got. This is my enabling portion of the show. Isn't that awesome? All of them together, everyone's like, what are you making? Because all those colors go great together, right? Okay, they're Rios, and I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty good. So this one is Sandbank. This one is Yerba. This one is Fog, which that's not a very... There you go. This one is Cosmos. I should hold them down here. Oh my gosh, look at that. And then Blue and Green. Oh my God, isn't that awesome? This is normally something that I would pick for my brother, but I feel like he could do this one and it would show this. And then I haven't decided yet, but some combination of these things are going to be the Andromeda hat from Ninja Chicken. So that's Future Whips, and that's Christmas knitting. Christmas knitting. Next is Happy Mail. We're just moving right along here, people. First off, do you guys know Paige? Paige the Framer. She owns Frame and Fiber. That is just what it says. A framing shop as well as a yarn shop mashed together. She is doing this series where she's recording when you get something framed. And I'd wanted this framed, and it just so happened that it worked out that, I'm part of this video series. I think she has 8 or 9 videos maybe. And some of you may watch them, but it's really, really cool. And the reason that she's doing them is she records them on Zoom, and then she's showing you that even though you don't live in New Jersey, that if you want something framed, you can send her the piece and she will frame it and send it back to you. And you guys, it is so much fun. She has first off, she's an amazing person, and I always want to support her. She's just a cool chick. She's just a cool chick. And then it's like a mom and pop shop, right? Really, it's a mom shop. Well, Paul Miller helps. We could kind of say mom and pop shop. Paul Miller's her man. He's the one who sent me the I'm Fucking Magical koozie with the little unicorn on it, if any of you guys remember that. Anyway, Paige framed this thing for me, and she recorded it, and she records the process of you picking out the frame and the matting and all of that stuff. And she sort of, I don't know if any of y'all have ever gotten anything framed. I haven't. The only thing that I've ever known, I know that Hobby Lobby and Michael's and shit have the 50% off coupon for framing. That's really all I know. I don't know anything else about it other than there's this huge wall of frames. I don't know what my options are. I don't know any of that. Well, she helps you with all that. You send her the piece and she's like, okay, here are the cool things that, you can come up with. And it's just really, really, really neat to see the design process and how that happens, especially with all the different people. I will say Rachel from Treehouse Knits, if any of you guys watch her, I met her at the Michigan Fiber Festival a couple years ago when I went up there. I'm sure that I've talked about her on the podcast, but she sent her something to be framed as well, and it was a cross stitch with like a Bible verse on it. And wait until you see hers video came out before mine, and I was like, oh God, people are gonna think I'm so ratchet. But would you expect anything different? Mine is not a Bible verse. Stand by. Is this not flippin' awesome? Look at that! It's so cool! Okay, first look at this cool frame. And it's like this gray sort of canvasy looking mat with the pink, and she pulled that out of there, right? She goes through this whole process. I won't say anything more about it. Go watch the video. It'll be linked below. Watch the other videos too. They are so cool. If any of you know Gigi, the piece that Gigi got framed, I want to see in person. And whoever that artist is, high flippin' five to you, because it is amazing. And I haven't even seen it in person. It is so cool. You guys should go watch it. Look how professional this is. I mean, I've never had anything framed like it before in my life. And she doesn't hurt. So like she does the double whatchamadingy, so it doesn't like smash your stitches, right? And if you ever wanted to take your piece out, it's sewn down. So there's no like glue, like the integrity of your piece is there. It's not gonna mess with anything. There was something else I was gonna say about it. What was it? Oh, the packaging. You guys, I could not believe how awesome the packaging was. I mean, think about how hard this would be to send in the mail, right? It was amazing. Nothing was happening to it. High five page. And if you need anything framed by her, like run and go there right now. It is so awesome. And like I said, she's a cool chick, and let's support her, right? As I kick the camera, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna go hang. Oh, and when you watch the video, I have to tell you guys. In the video, I said that I was gonna hang it in this spot right here. That was before I got my little mermaid from Belinda. Remember when Belinda sent me all those cool crochet things? So I put it in another spot because I told Paige that's where it was going. But the stuff room is an ever-changing, it's very fluid up in here. So it's going right there. Doesn't it look good there? Ugh, you guys, I love it so much. Okay, my next happy mail is from Zira. She has the Love of the Dark Fiber podcast on YouTube. She doesn't upload very often. You're sort of like, oh, I wish that you uploaded more. But at the same time, it's such a treat when she does upload because I'm always super excited to see what she's making. She also has an Etsy shop. I'll link that below as well as the podcast. She sent me blue kyanite. Is this fusite? I'm not sure, but look at that, like it's like iridescent. And she sent these to me like for my soldering stuff. Amethyst and rose quartz points, which I love. And then my rose quartz Merkaba. So she sent this card, and she lives in Oregon. And this is Mount Hood on Trillium Lake. And she goes there. Like she has sat in that very spot that artist did that art, which I think is amazing. Look how flipping gorgeous that is. Okay, so she sent me this poppet. She's like real witchy. I don't know if she is a witch. I don't know how that works. Are you a witch? I think she is. I think she's in a coven. This is a poppet. Look at that stitch work. And this is what she has in her Etsy shop. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so, and I followed her, I follow her on Instagram, so I knew that she was making these, and she has a whole bunch of them. So I'm reading this card, and it says the Poppet doll is designed for fertility. Right? I thought the same thing, you guys. And then she goes on to say, wait, not that kind, LOL. She's a creative manifestation poppet that can help you with artistic and creative fertility. It's not for bibis, as Moira would say on Schitt's Creek. It is for the fertility of creative flows, let's say. I have my little poppet. She lives right here. Actually, I think I'm gonna have her hang out with Little Miss No Name, unless I'm using her. So that was from Zira. Thank you so much. Oh, and look at her. She has that. I mean, I love that stuff. Those are so cool. Now I can take my crystals out of those little bags and put them with the rest of my crystals on my altar so they can live with their friends. This is from Andrea, and she tagged me in this on Instagram, and it is so flippin' sweet. And she asked me if she could, I was like, oh my gosh. And she asked me if she could send it to me. First, she made this bag. Look at how cute. We have some puppy batik and then some puppy stuff, right? You can fold it down and there's puppy paws on the inside. I'm gonna show you all the other stuff first. She made some yarn condoms to go with my ball sacks or in place of ball sacks, which I don't know. Dan said, are they really condoms? Because it's more like a coat, right? And I'm like, yeah, but yarn coat isn't as fun as yarn condom. But look how cute they are. That one has little llama or alpaca. I think that's alpaca, right? Peru alpaca? Yeah. Then there's another one on the yarn. Isn't that a cute way of displaying it? Hedgehog, I love hedgehogs. Okay, I have to show you this yarn. This is like the heart melt right here. She was learning brioche. And you know how brioche is BRK, yarn over BRK. She was like, it looks like bark yo bark. And then she's like, wait a minute, that's like grab yo drank. So then that made her think of olive. So this is, the colorway name is BRKYO BRK Olive. And then the two little ones, wait a minute, are they both little? This one, I'm not sure what this mini is, but this mini is called Sparkle Olive. And I don't know, I don't think that she has a company. If she does, I'll link it, but I think she was just dying to dye. I think she was just having fun with dyeing, and she dyes a bunch of yarn. Like, she's dyed other yarn that she shows on her Instagram page, and she was like, I just want to send this to you because it's olive. Oh, isn't that so sweet? Bark yo bark, grab yo drink, girl. Then she also sent me, which this was a big huge surprise. I only thought that I was getting the yarn. So the yarn condoms or coats and the bag and all of that stuff was extra. She sent me, where'd it go? Booze. I didn't know you could send booze in the mail. Did you guys know that you could send booze in the mail? This is news to me. I mean, I suppose you could send anything in the mail if you wanted to, but I didn't know you could. So this, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. I don't have any idea. But she said you drink it warm, like it's definitely a fall winter drink. You drink it warm with a little amaretto. Well, my mom loves amaretto, so I will be sharing this with her for sure. And of course it's summer, so I haven't tried it yet. Unopened bottle. We will be partaking in this when it's sweater weather. Thank you so much, Andrea. That's awesome. Okay, next, gosh, you guys, this is awesome. Trudy is a viewer. She lives in Texas. She's lived all over the place. She's currently in Texas. But she has had an over 30-year career in polymer clay. She worked for manufacturers, and she would go to like Michael's and Joann's and negative out from there. She would go to like the trade shows and stuff and do demos on all this polymer clay. Well, because social media wasn't in, and there really wasn't, I mean, they had magazines and things, but she wanted a way to showcase artists. And back in 2000, she came up with the idea of having a juried art show for a calendar. Well, a juried art calendar. Am I messing that up? So she had people send it in, and they, like the peers in the industry, voted. It was all, nobody knew who was sending what in. And they, narrowed it down. And then the last ones, the ones that were chosen for the calendar, then sent those pieces to her, and she had them professionally photographed. And then those pieces also ended up going, she had the very first ever polymer art exhibit in Pensacola, Florida, and it's called, where was it? Hold on, let me look. First off, look at the card she sent. Isn't that cute? In the Gaslight District. I knew it was something funny because it makes me think of the Red Light District. In the Gaslight District. I was gonna look it up and I forgot. I want to know what the Gaslight District is. But she had an art show, an art exhibit there. And I mean, she just kind of took the bull by the horns and did all this cool stuff in the world of polymer clay. Then she went on to do metalsmithing and sort of combined the two, like metalsmithing and polymer clay, and worked with those two mediums together for a while. And now she has moved on to yarn dyeing. She's gonna have a yarn dyeing business. It's called the Red Thread Fibers. Hold on, I have it in my notes. I wanna make sure I don't mess that up. I did. Red Thread Tails. So if you see Red Thread Tails opening, that is Trudy. So she has had a career of art, which how cool is that? To be able to do what you love every day. There's so many, people that don't. And if any of you are in the polymer clay, into polymer clay or wherever into that art form, you might know Trudy because obviously she was pretty into the scene, if you will. She sold these calendars, and this is all polymer. That's all polymer art. But let me show you, I won't show you all of them, but let me show you just a couple that are like, that's polymer clay? I love that wand. And look at the Humpty Dumpty. Okay, so now I want to ask Trudy, do you paint that face on there? Like, do you paint polymer clay? That's super interesting to me. Look at this layered egg. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. It reminds me of one of those Russian, those czar eggs. I love this one. Look how Tim Burton-y that is. That's my genre, right? Is creepy. I love all things creepy. Mother and child and angel. Look at how cool the outfit is. Sorry for the glare. Oh wow, here's a menorah. That is so cool. Can you imagine having that like as a family heirloom? There was another one in here oh wow. And then in the calendar, it has all the artists that contributed. That's awesome. Oh, here it is. I don't know how I missed that. Look at this mask, you guys. It's Fat Tuesday. That is polymer clay. I mean, look at that. It's spectacular. Anyway, so thank you so much, Trudy, for sending that to me. It was really, really fun to see all the different types of things you can do with polymer clay. I had no idea. And I need, another art genre, like a hole in the head, but it makes me want to play with polymer clay. My last happy mail. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is from Cindy, and she sent this to me. The lighting is not cooperating. We're almost done. Cindy sent me Alumet, and this is by Tommy Ungerer. I don't know how you say that. Ungerer, I think. I looked him up. They did documentary on him. Listen to this. This is so weird. He did children's picture books as well as erotica for adults. I'm like, erotic literature and children's picture books. That's an interesting combination. I don't think he did them at the same time. Like, I think he did the children's picture books and then moved on and then went back to the children's picture books. But I just thought that was kind of funny. I'd totally watched the documentary. But the reason that she sent this to me is Alumet reminded her of Little Miss No Name. And I read the story to Dan the other night, like it was a bedtime story. It was really fun. But the artwork, he wrote it and did the artwork. Oh, gosh, let me see if I can. Here, we'll do that. We're almost done, right? That didn't help at all. At least it's like right here instead of where I'm trying to hold things up. Okay. So that's Alumet. Look at that artwork. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I really like it. I would love to check out some of his other books. Thank you so much, Cindy, for sending that to me. Sorry I keep moving you. The lighting is really irritating me. Okay, that's it. I'm on to miscellaneous. We're almost done. On the last episode, I mentioned the beginner sweaters. You guys came out in the comments like hella awesome. So what I did is I compiled a list of all the sweaters that you mentioned and cardigans that you mentioned, and I opened a Ravelry thread. Look at me being all organized and whatnot. So if you guys want to see that list instead of fishing through comments on that last episode, there is a thread of beginner sweater and cardigans with all the links on the Ravelry group. It'll be linked below. I just wanted to tell you that. I have had a couple viewer questions. There is also a viewer question thread on the Ravelry board. And of course, I get emails and Instagrams, and mainly just emails and Instagrams with questions as well. I try to answer all of those. David Dogdare mentioned, I think it was the last episode, he wanted to see my moose head. Here's the moose head. That hangs right there. And all of my sock, it's right there. See him? David wanted to see it up close. So he holds all of my sock blockers. Then, because I put Dan's senior picture on, I had a few comments and a few messages that people wanted to see my senior pictures. Or picture. I'll show a couple. Here is like a headshot, if you will. And then the reason that I'm showing another one is because I was talking about Poochie earlier, and here is Poochie. And Diamond, Codi Knits, Diamond looks so much like Poochie, so much like him. It makes my heart kind of sad every time I see her because it makes me miss Poochie. I mean, I love her, but it makes me, miss him. The other thing is I get a lot of comments on the stuff room asking if the stuff room is haunted. Kicked you again. Asking if the stuff room is haunted because there are a lot of orbs in the, whatever, like lots of floaties. I think some of it is probably just like dust particles floating, but I see what? Dan says it's swamp gases, whatever that means. I do think that there are orbs in here. How could there not be? This room is filled with very old things, whether it be from my family, like that mirror came from the funeral home. Who knows, what that all has seen. There's lots of stuff from antique shops. There's lots of stuff from, what's the story on this train trunk right here? Like where the heck has that been? Yeah, I think that there are probably people living in here. I'd like to think that this is a safe, happy place for them. And they feel at home, right? That's what I feel about my stuff room being haunted. If you're gonna be stuck someplace, I'd like to be stuck in the craft room, just saying. A lot of you suggested, I don't know if you noticed, that's my Hohi bag right there. It's drying. A lot of you suggested, sorry, really, the UGG spray, since they're like suede or whatnot. So that's what I got. I sprayed it and it is drying so that I can use it. I will just feel much safer now that it's protected, which this says protection against rain, snow, dirt, and stains. I have multiple times now forgotten to tell you my shiwi story for you OGs that heard my peen story when I lost my sockhead hat on the four-wheeler. I don't remember what episode it is now, so I can't even link it for those of you who are new here or care to know. I'll give you a very short, I want to say synopsis. I'll give you a short summary of that story. I grew up in the country. We four-wheel. I was four-wheeling with a bunch of people in the winter time. You wear Carhartt bibs. The dudes can just pee, like whip it out, not do anything. And the girls basically have to get all the way undressed to go pee. And when I did that, I shoved my hat in the sleeve of my Carhartt jacket. And then when I put my Carhartt jacket back on after getting dressed, after I peed, I like pushed my arm through and shoved my hat out. And now some critter is living in my, like, the most expensive critter house there is, right? Like, I had a bunch of comments, and I still get comments for those of you who are binge watching about a shiwi. And I said I have a shiwi story. I will wait and tell that story. And I always forget, and now I'm going to tell it. So a shiwi, I'll put a picture here for those of you who don't know what a shiwi is. It is a way that a girl can pee standing up. Now, I did not try the actual name brand shiwi. I did not spend money on the shiwi. But what I did do or have tried is a funnel. And it works. But here's the problem with the shiwi versus the funnel. The first time I tried the funnel, I used a funnel about the size of a shiwi. You need a bigger, you need a funnel bigger than this. You need a funnel like this big, because here's what happens. You pee faster than the pee can go out the hole. So it sounds great in theory, right? But let's just say, I'm glad that I was only doing it like at the farmhouse so that I could like go back to the camper and fix things because it did. Definitely a trial and error thing. And I'm just going to say for any of you who try the shiwi, pee slow. And with that, I am going to wrap this up. If you are still here, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm in a great mood today. Don't know why. Probably tequila, this awesome drink. And it's been a minute since I've talked to you. Hopefully I can get this edited really quick. But if you're still here and you haven't liked, thumbs up, subscribed, ring the bell, whatever they tell you to do, all that happy horse shit, go ahead and do that. And until we meet again, later.